Hello and welcome to your weekly horoscope for week commencing the 11th of October. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. Now I'm going to give you the major strands of this week as an overview and then dive deep for each individual zodiac sign. So please stay with me. Now the major news story this week is that Saturn, the ruler of time, Saturn is the Latin version of Kronos, the Greek god. Kronos, old, father, time. So Saturn governs the mechanics of things. It's very much to do with where we're applied, where we're disciplined, but it can also be about limitation and obstacles and contraction. And since the 23rd of May, Saturn has been retracing its steps in the sign of Aquarius, which of course it co-rules. But for vast amounts of that time, it has been pretty much in a square with Uranus, the other ruler of Aquarius, which is very progressive and freedom-loving, very much about trying new things, where Saturn's very much about traditionality. So if you have experienced a period of great frustration in your situation and it feels that things just haven't been moving forwards, it's really positive that Saturn starts to station direct. But this week also sees the Sun and Mars in the sign of Libra in a combination which is pushing us to assert our rights around relationships in a tense right angle with Pluto, the planet of transformation. And this can lead to some quite forceful or heated standoffs. But those relationships that are much more constructive are given an opportunity to become even more stable and progressive, because Venus, the planet of relating in the sign of philosophy, Sagittarius, is linking brilliantly to Saturn. So that's a real upside to this week. But there is a quarter moon which occurs on Wednesday, and this one is pretty close to Pluto, and it's the moon in Capricorn, and that's squaring to the Sun in the 7th house. Do you know, there may be a situation where we do actually try very much to fit in with what's expected of us, but somehow or another, whoever we're trying to relate to will still find that our efforts just are not good enough. So expect to encounter someone who really is quite hard to please, and that could in itself be quite frustrating if we're really trying our best to be quite constructive. Now the other thing to tell you is that by the end of this week, both Mercury and Jupiter on Sunday are ending their retrogrades, both in air signs, the Mercury retrograde in Libra and Jupiter in Aquarius. But I will tell you more about that next time. But the big news story this week is definitely that Sun-Mars square with Pluto and Saturn going forwards. Now, if you're new to my channel, I'd be honoured if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. And if you want your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning, please click on the subscription link beneath this video. I write for some of the world's bigger platforms, and also for the British Press Association. I've been their lead astrologer for many years, and also Britain's most read daily newspaper, the Metro, so why not grab yours too? And with year 2022 fast racing up, if you want to understand what the year holds for you personally, based on your time, date and place of birth, you can order your forecast now and get the rest of this year free, plus a character analysis, plus 30% off. So gain searing insights for what lies ahead for you. Hello Libra, and welcome to your in-depth forecast for week commencing the 11th of October. Now, I've reminded you of this theme many times over recent years, simply because Pluto, the planet of transformation, has been in your 4th solar house. And it means that every time there's been a key aspect like this week, where there is going to be the Sun and Mars in your sign squaring with Pluto, the passion and the desire of the Sun and Mars together in your sign is considerable. But the angle, the sharp right angle with Pluto, means that Pluto is right pitched on the 4th house. So the fourth house is very much to do with where you live. It's to do with home, family, security, and it could be to do with some close personal relationships. So those may be in need of some kind of transformation. Now, transformation can be a joyful process if we're, making the choice to do that transforming ourselves and we're being very proactive. It's much more difficult if situations are being enforced upon us. And there may be something around a property matter, a home or emotional or family matter that is causing or could cause this week a degree of frustration or strain. The wonderful news, however, is that Saturn, the planet of limitation, which has been in your sector of joys for obviously since the 17th of December last year, but has been in retrograde since the 23rd of May, if it's felt there has been a lack of joy, but particularly around your love life, which the fifth house influences, well, Saturn going forwards this week and forging an amazing link to your ruler Venus suggests that there could be a very constructive conversation with someone. But it just depends on how the conversation goes. Because what I feel is developing with you is that you're becoming stronger and braver all the time about asserting your boundaries. And if anyone's pushing hard to impose their will on you, whereas in the past, to say you would have done anything for a quiet life would be unfair. You're a cardinal sign, and when you're aroused, you can be formidable. But I think there was part of you that was almost addicted to being a people pleaser. And what's been happening as these transits have kept occurring is Pluto has been pushing you all the time to be a bit stronger about standing up about what's right for you. And obviously the Sun and Mars together in your sign can make you much more impulsive and much more nurturing of your need to be an individual. So it's all very well supporting people around you, doing what other people want, but you need to get what you need out of situations too. So I think some kind of push-pull around a property emotional matter is possible this week. It could be a battle of wills, a bit of a power battle, to be honest. But there is that potential with Saturn going forwards to be followed by the end of this week as Jupiter and Mercury get to the very end of their retrograde period. As we move into week commencing the 18th, something can really just start to work in a much more productive way for you, and that can be absolutely delightful. Now, it is the case that there's a quarter moon this week, and that quarter moon actually reflects the square between Pluto and the Sun and Mars, because it's in your personal fourth house, the sign of Capricorn. So when we have that, it's the quarter moon there is like making sure that any decisions you make to be individualistic don't go against your best emotional needs, but equally you don't give away your individuality in order to just play so safe that you kind of almost lose your identity. So that's the aspects for this week, but certainly Saturn going direct is something to savour, but a bit more of a tussle around a deeply personal issue I do feel is in store.